When I speak to millennials, they think we messed up for them. They don't think we messed it up as bad as the boomers, but they think we messed it up.
Right.
And I would agree with them to a certain extent, but in today's society, they have to be more educated. We're gonna lose our middle class if you're not financially educated.
Right.
And what happens, do you think? So you and I have talked a little bit about this, and I just would like your opinion, and I'll give you my opinion. What happens if we lose the middle class, our middle class? Then we're just like any other third world country, where the rich is super rich and the poor is super poor. What America makes America the best country to live in the world is we have a middle class, and I believe we're gonna keep that if we're financially educated.
Yeah, I find it very hard to conceive the notion or embrace the notion of us losing the middle class as long as we remain capitalistic.
Meaning,
Well,
can you elaborate a little bit
sure.
what you
Well, I
mean by
mean,
that?
well, when you have, let's say, basically two forms of government, you have a capitalistic government where there are no regulatory presets as far as saying you are going to be a doctor and you can only make this amount of money. We're in a social type of economy or government, like in China, for example.
So that socially, that's communism. Yes, yes.
Right. But I just want to talk about the economic form of it, where every doctor is making that, every lawyer is making that, every military person is making that, and so forth. With all the different occupations, they're capped. Where here, what makes our country so dynamic is that there is no cap. You can potentially gain as much as you want.
Right.
And so to lose the middle class, in my mind, is really hard for me to even try to digest a what if, because we will always have haves and have nots, and then you'll have people that have some. So the sum to me is the middle class.
Right.
So that's why it's really hard. I don't know. You seem to be more open-minded to that notion of the middle class going away.
Well, I don't think that we will lose our middle class completely, but I do think that our middle class is shrinking, right? And being a child of immigrant, understanding the immigrant society and understanding the financial part, because remember, I've been an accountant for 3 decades. So I see finances from different socioeconomic areas, from different socioeconomic clients, and understanding, seeing what they make, seeing what, for example, how a boomer right now that are retired or close to retirement, how their finances are set up, as opposed to a Gen Xer who are us, how ours is set up. And it's not a generational thing in terms of, it could be, there's certain parts that are the same because of our generation. And then there's certain parts that are completely different because of our money mindset and our motivation. For example, the boomer generation. I have clients that are boomers, right? Most of them have worked for large companies. When they started working, we didn't have an entrepreneurial society like we have now. The entrepreneurial societies that we have now actually went exponential during COVID and after COVID, where people started opening their own little small businesses and started working for themselves, and it was more accessible to them. For the boomers, it wasn't. You had large companies that you worked for, but these large companies also took care of their employees. So they did not have to have financial education and learning how to set up a 401k or to have a Roth account, or they didn't have to worry about health insurance, right?
Okay.
Those are like 3 basic things that you and I, but more so our kids, but really have to worry about. And in order for you not worrying, to think, I would have to say to think about. And if you are not financially educated, those are complicated things in this society. And if you don't have financial education, you can mess that up. With the boomers, for example, I have a couple right now that is a boomer. He's retired. He used to work for a large company. His pension is $90,000 and his health insurance is paid for. That is part of his package as a boomer. He worked for a super large company that made large amount of money after him. Mind you, health insurance was really cheaper then, because from the time I started working in a full-time job, which was I think 97, 98, that's when I started working full-time, maybe 99, I don't remember exactly. A family coverage for health insurance with no deductible, no copay, no nothing was $300.
Wow.
I worked for the Red Cross for 5 years. When I finished working for the when I left after 5 years, that same family coverage, but now there was co-pays, there was deductibles, there was all these other things. The coverage was less, but it was $1,100.
Wow.
So between 5 years, the cost of health insurance exponentially went up, and the coverage, your benefits exponentially went down. Which I could have seen from then the problem of what we are having today when it comes to health insurance. Boomers didn't have to worry about that. They still don't have to worry about that because their company guaranteed them. Like I said, this, I'm giving you an example of one couple where he gets his pension. He didn't even have to pay into that pension. That is a defined benefit plan. That's his benefit. It's not like our kids now, when they start working, they have to put into a 401k to get something out of it.
Yeah.